Hi there. So I wanted to go over a question that I get a lot. One of the top questions that I get almost at every workshop that I give to either a district or one that I'm hosting, the number one question is how many pieces of evidence do my students need to have in the ECR? And the answer is it depends on the prompt. So some prompts, there's not going to be a lot of evidence. If there's not a lot of evidence in the passage, then they might only need one or two pieces of evidence in order to get a perfect score. However, if there is a lot of evidence in the passage, especially in different sections, and they need all of those different pieces in order to thoroughly answer the question, then that would mean that they would need more evidence and more explaining. So the answer is it depends on the prompt and it also depends on the passage. So what I tell my students is to go ahead and do the RA at the top, do the S at the bottom. That is basically your introduction and conclusion. Whatever letters you want to call it, it doesn't matter. The acronyms are just there to help the kids remember, just to give them a framework. But we're going to go way past that with our teaching. We're not just going to stop with races and say, here you go right. No, that's not what this is about. So they write their introduction at the beginning, they write their conclusion at the bottom, and then in the middle, they can divide their paper up accordingly depending on the prompt and depending on the passage. So your high kids, you want to push them to get as much evidence as they can in order to answer the question. That is the whole point, to answer the question correctly. And whatever evidence it takes to do that, whatever explaining in your own words that it takes to do that. And so sometimes they might be splitting it into two boxes, and they might have a C and a C and an E and an E. They might find two pieces of evidence from the passage. Other times they might find three. Other times they might find one. So it just depends. You cannot just go by the scoring guide. You cannot just look at Aquifer, for example, and say, well, I saw a 10 that only had a few examples of evidence, so that, that must mean that they don't need all that. That's not true. So be careful generalizing. It depends on the prompt. All right, I hope this video helped you. And if you have any questions, we're going to be talking about that in the VIP support membership group.